beautiful people. I have no idea how to start this video. I guess I'll just go ahead and start things off with how I auditioned for a production of Heathers one time. I did not get casted, and the role I wanted went to the director's son. Anyways.
So imagine if Mean Girls had murder. That's basically Heathers. Although I guess since Mean Girls came out after Heathers, would that technically mean that Mean Girls is Heathers without murder? That's not what I meant, and you know it.
I don't know about y'all, but I really enjoyed the 1980s cult classic Heathers. And it's not like one of those things that people misinterpret as a cult classic, like freaking Jaws. No, Heathers is the actual definition of a cult classic. This movie was horribly panned when it was released, and it was an absolute bomb. But since the decades that it's been released, it has gained a major following. The film was made as a satire of the John Hughes types of high school films that were all over the 80s. Namely films like, say, The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller, you know the ones. And the type of stuff that's in this movie is the type of stuff that you probably can't get away with showing in a film starring mostly teenagers today. And not like in a way on how,
oh, you can't make Blazing Saddles today because of woke culture.
I mean, you probably shouldn't make a movie like Heathers today. However, if the right filmmaker decides to make a remake of Heathers and they end up pulling it off spectacularly, yeah, I can see that working. But we're not here to talk about the movie. We are here to talk about the musical adaptation of the film. And yes, despite how dark the film can get at times, it got a musical adaptation. And you know what? It's pretty good.
Heathers the Musical does just about everything that a musical adaptation of a popular movie should do. Not just retell the movie story verbatim just with songs, but deliver a completely unique experience that you can't get from the original movie, complete with new dynamics for the characters, and a little bit more optimism than its initial source material. The story is brilliant, starting off as a simple high school popularity contest before it gradually makes a dark turn towards the middle of the first act. While all the major beats are the same from the initial cult classic, what really does differentiate the story from its source material is the relationship between the characters. The relationship between JD and Veronica is more believable in the stage version, for instance, and they even further develop the character of Martha, which we will discuss later on. The costume design is also very reminiscent of the original film, with the Heathers' iconic color-coded outfits nearly pulled directly from the film's wardrobe, along with JD's iconic bad boy look.
The set kind of follows a bit of a conventional structure that a lot of modern musicals have started to go, mainly starting with Rent and just blossomed from there. But it's not a bad set, it's just not really wholly original.
As I've mentioned before, the musical's biggest improvement over the original movie has to be the relationship between the characters, and really the characters in general. On top of their dynamics, the performances from the actors are also significantly better in the stage version, in my opinion. I mean, I love Winona Ryder as much as the next guy, but I gotta admit, the stage actors pulled off these characters a little bit better in my eyes. And a lot of that does have to do with the chemistry. I completely buy the pettiness from the Heathers. I buy the fact on how much Veronica hates them. I buy the initial romance between Veronica and JD. I buy Veronica and Martha's friendship throughout the entirety of it. And I fully believe JD's manipulative madness throughout the entire show. And probably the best addition, character-wise, or even in general, to the musical adaptation has to be what they've done with the character of Martha. Now, in the original movie, Martha Dunstock was a very forgettable gag character who the Heathers just kind of bullied on all the time just for being fat. She barely had a line of dialogue and barely interacted with the main characters. In the musical, Martha actually takes the place of Veronica's initial friend in the original film. She's her best friend, and she's a nice, bubbly girl who longs for the simpler days of middle school. And the way they explore her character and what she truly feels inside and how much she longs for the simpler days, it's very devastating, the character. And it's all the more heartwarming when she gets her happy ending at the end of the day, and it's pretty beautiful, honestly.
An interesting note about the characters of this show is that the writers of the original movie noted that there was a big drop in the second half of Heathers the movie, namely because all of the most interesting characters are dead. So, what does the musical do to fix this? By bringing them back as ghosts. Awesome.
And of course, what's a musical adaptation without some awesome original songs? I mean, there is a bit of a hard challenge here to take the dark, weird film that is Heathers and adding a bunch of show tunes to it, but the musical manages to pull it off pretty good. Having an 80s rock aesthetic to the grand majority of the songs, they managed to match the tone of the show and even the original movie pretty well when it comes to both their seriousness and the silliness whenever the show needs it. Some of my personal favorites include the opening number, Big Fun, Freeze Your Brain, Meant to Be Yours, and my personal favorite in the entire show, Blue, mainly because it's fucking funny with all the dick jokes.
Now, I want you to look me in the eye. If you were a director and you were casting a production of Heathers and you were looking to cast Kurt and Ram, would you, honest to God, cast your son as one of those characters and have them sing Blue?
Overall, Heathers the Musical is a fantastic example on how to take a film that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be a musical into a musical with a fantastic translation from screen to stage, wonderful cast of characters, great changes from the original movie that further enhances it, and some fantastic songs that matches the tone of the original film. If you guys haven't checked out the pro shot of Heathers, it's available for free on the Roku channel. Even if you don't have a Roku TV, you can just look up the RokuChannel.com and boom, there it is for free. No need for a slime tutorial because it's absolutely free for everybody. So do yourself a favor and check out Heathers the Musical. Baby, it's really beautiful.
But anyway, guys, that'll be it for this video. What do you guys think of Heathers the Musical? Please let me know down in the comments below. And also, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified of when future videos are uploaded. Now, if you excuse me, I need to pay a visit to the casting director who decided to cast his son instead of me. Bye!